Hi, Ashley. You're doing great. And again, as I just did with my last live, you ask questions, I'm going to give it to you. I love people that want to learn more. Most of the posts here are just about, how do I help my baby? And even when I say I want a 2-week follow-up, I don't hear from them. I mean it sincerely. So this is great. Okay. One big tip is, and this is what I don't teach in the Tummy Time course, and I tell you not to do it, don't work on the floor. I can't stress enough. I did a really big training, which you might not know of, ABM training. It's like 2.5 years just about, and a heck of a lot of money. It's great, but one of the biggest faults that I found, and I don't allow in my trainings, everyone's on the table, is you're working on the floor. I'm going to tell you right now, I did not learn my best that I could have learned, because when you're working with someone where, first of all, I'm not comfortable, let's say. I mean, like, I'm 59 now. When I've had a couple of clients who are like, oh, they're very comfortable here. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going on the floor. I'm capable of doing it. I don't want to do it. It was interesting. I actually, not to go off too much, I worked in Bahrain for a week, and you have to go barefoot. And I don't do this anymore. If I go to somebody's place, because I just have flat feet, I'm just not set up for it. But again, most customs, you take your shoes off. Now I bring a brand new pair of shoes, and I'm like, I'm wearing it indoor. But I destroyed in 1 week my feet, destroyed them. I was in serious pain. I just thought, like, oh, this is life-changing. Thank goodness I got it back quickly doing what I need to do. And I'm glad I'm saying this, because I need to post up some foot videos, and I almost forgot. But that's just me. When you're working with someone, and one of the things that makes you a good practitioner, and you're a parent practitioner now, you're in it, is the less it's about you. And I don't mean about you emotionally, it's physically. So you'll never see me working way out here. Again, I don't work, I've been taught standing, and I can do it if I need to. It's just not appropriate. The child's system, their body gets away from it. So what you're doing on the couch, I'll just make some comments on. Don't forget that weight transfer. Now I have to hold up my baby's head, but you're here and you're doing great, right? But your hands, just bring this here. You know what I mean? Bring in that weight transfer. And again, you can see this here, the difference. So if I'm here and I've got a child in tummy time, right? And again, look where I get. Even with the bottle, I get low, I get with it. It's like playing pool. I'm not up here. And you can practice this. This up here, weight transfer, there's a lot more activity that's just not ready for a baby to experience. It's too much inner movement. When I'm down here, right, everything settles, and I can do it with much more sophistication, much more control, and whoever I'm working on is getting better work from me, right? So if I'm here and I'm here, even bringing someone to sitting, right, I'm available. I'm not stuck in the position. But if I took the same movement up here and brought my elbows off, that alone, and see, it's just much more sloshy and stiff. And remember, there's a fine line between learning, which is what your baby's doing, and preventing. So that's my other thing, is get that baby off the ball. I'm not even going to say this nicely. Babies don't have that kind of depth perception. They're not there. It's way too inflated anyway. You're getting a bounce versus a weight transfer. They're not there. I don't know why physios thinks it's a good idea to put a baby on a ball, and that's not it. And then two, the baby's not balanced, and you're holding this baby on a ball, and therefore you're not balanced. It's just not a combination that's there, and shouldn't be there. So just do what you're doing. But again, if I'm working here and I want to do mouth work, again, I'm at a much more advantageous position versus even if I was just up here trying to do this. Right? Whenever I'm working too hard, the movement is not as fine as it could be. And when I'm here and I'm not working hard, even though I'm working hard mentally, again, I can get that detailed work. But my elbows are secure. If you need to put your elbows on a bolster, but when you're doing this work, you on the floor, you're just not going to learn at the best. And that was the whole thing too. Like even when I was doing, like I said, that's not the only trainer when I had to do floor work. But when you're sitting there questioning, like, how am I going to get this foot? I remember kicking Thomas in the head once. I was doing head work, and I went to move, and I just kicked him. I mean, when you're just not doing your best work, or like this, where I'm laughing and not taking it in, it's not soaking into my system. I'm just not learning at my potential, and I want you to learn at your potential, because then you won't be as fatigued, you won't be as overwhelmed. So that's where I'd like to say, try out everything you're doing. Your tempo is great, but just bring your baby up to you versus you bringing yourself to your baby. I'm not saying you can't play on the floor with your child, but when you're doing this work, again, when you're here and you're just looking for this head lift versus this, and I mean, it's just not awkward. And I'm doing it just still in sitting. I'm not even on the floor where I have to worry about my own crisscross applesauce and then trying to get around a baby. It just can be a lot more laborious. Thanks so much.